All right, welcome to the Crazy Ralph podcast. I'm Jason, and I'm joined with...
Your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete.
Absolutely. He's so friendly, but we'll see how friendly he is today with what we have to talk about. We'll see. We don't know. All right, this is a hot button topic in the world of Friday the 13th, and I know we're a little bit late to the game, but give us a break. We just started our podcast. So... not too long ago, late 2025 or mid 2025, they released a new Jason look. And if you're asking who is they, so Horror Inc., which supposedly owns, and I'm going to get into, we're going to talk about this actually at some point. We're going to talk about Horror Inc., Jason Universe, what that is, what it means to everybody, what are the defining characteristics of this. But just to sum up for the purposes of this episode, we are just going to talk about the look and nothing more. We're not going to get into the politics or the right, we're not going to get into anything behind the scenes. I mean, we might touch on a few things, but there will be an episode where we'll talk about it. We'll debrief what this relationship means and what it's going to look like moving forward. Camp Crystal Lake on Peacock is the initial, turn for Friday 13th after almost 20 years. And this book is part of that world. It's part of that universe. Jason Universe is the all-encompassing, entity that is kind of marrying what Horror Inc. is and wants to produce, and it all just kind of falls under that Jason Universe umbrella. And what was one of the first things that was created was a universal look to Jason. So over the years, we've seen Jason as a naked boy. We've seen him in overalls and plaid, wearing a potato sack on his head. We've seen him in a green shirt with, whatever you want to call those, beige, brown, gray, blue pants.
Yeah.
And then of course the iconic hockey mask. The hockey mask, while the whole design has been the same all the way through, which is a minor miracle.
Well, I'm sorry, just something you said didn't. You said we seen him as a naked boy, and that didn't.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm like, I don't want to keep going because it just. I don't want to give someone reason to make a comment. It just
yeah, exactly. Okay, we've seen him as.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just like,
no, that's a good one. I heard it coming out of my mouth. Out of my mouth, but I thought maybe, we'll just press on. And but fair enough. I think we all know what was meant there, and that's fine. The hockey mask has remained largely intact as far as the look of it, the whole design, the axe in the head, and just the overall shape of it. It has changed from actor to actor, and that's understandable. I mean, it's got to fit to them, and but sometimes the colors change. Sometimes it's very, very yellow, as in Jason Takes Manhattan. Sometimes it's this undefined color, like part 3. There's a couple of shades to it, like where it looks all different, but overall, the hockey mask has remained the hockey mask, and with few changes. Part 7 brilliantly added, the war wounds of part 6, the propeller chopping off, and then so that what I'm trying to say is the mask has been a constant. The outfits have been different, so part 3 and 4 are very similar. Part 5 was an imposter Jason, we'll let it slide, but the flashbacks, again, similar to 4 and 3. Part 6 was different. The color scheme was the same. He became a little bit more military, which was fine. And then part 7 was a massive change. But part 6, go back, he became a zombie Jason. That's where Zombie Jason originated from, was part 6's reincarnation. I'm summing this up for a purpose here. Part 7, again, it's kind of like the evolution of Zombie Jason, and it was an iconic design that a lot of people just have all the time in the world for, given that it's so late in the franchise. Part 8, again, all of a sudden his clothes kind of come back. So again, we're talking about the inconsistencies here. And then part 9, 10, 11, again, we're not going to really talk too much about Uber Jason, as that is an outlier in this. Freddy versus Jason, he becomes taller. He, puts on a pullover. And then the remake, the reboot was kind of cool. I kind of dug that look. They changed it up a little bit, but we'll kind of like take that one and just put it aside right now, not getting rid of it. But the reason why I went through all these looks is because consistency has been an issue at times with Friday the 13th. And I think the goal here is to unify the look and bring one solid look to Jason. So if he's an emoji, or if he's in a video game, or if he's represented on an ad, or anything in between, it'll be this universal Jason look. Not a bad idea. I'm going to say that, that is kind of something that is pretty cool. The problem with that idea is if you don't get that design right, then it's a bad idea. Oh, here's the design. I'm putting it out for everybody to see. You could see that the essence of Jason is there. They went with a mask that has 13 holes, which to me is very gimmicky. It's almost like, forget about what the mask looks like. As long as it has 13 holes, people are going to love it. So mask shape, eye holes, the chevron size and chevron placing. We're going to discuss all of that. And then the clothes. I've kind of set it up, but I'm going to let you, Uncle Pete, I'm going to let you take first crack at this, and whether you like it or not, and then we'll talk about it. We'll break it down from boots from head to head. But for now, what do you say, Uncle Pete?
So the first time I looked at it, it felt very muted to me. Like, okay, and I'm trying to study it and whatnot. Like, if you ever play video games and it's like create a character, the first I'm like, it seems like the default character you would get in create a wrestler game. It'd be the default for it. And okay, now you can add and take away this and add to it.
That's brilliant.
It's almost like all one color. And you can see they put some blood spotches on the shirt and the t-shirt. And maybe that's to homage to some of the other films. It just looks really muted. I don't know what I wanted, how I would have designed it, but it just, it's just muted to me.
That's a great word. Now, I mean, I'm not in love with this. I will say something that does work is, I look at it. It looks like he would blend in the woods. He's very.
I was almost going to say that it looks like it's almost like camouflage in a way.
It is
the way he could blend in the forest
for sure, and obviously for cinematography purposes, that could organically bring up some awesome shots. It makes sense. Okay, so let's look at the positive. It makes sense. I'm looking at his boots. They look like outdoorsman boots. Unless he's wearing flip flops, I don't think I'm going to spend too much time stressing over Jason's boots in any episode. If he starts wearing Converse or something like that, I might have a little bit of an issue with it.
If he's got Crocs on, there's an issue.
Yeah. So, but we're okay with the boots, okay? And the pants, again, I'm not going to really stress too much. They look like standard pants. I like them. if I were to look at them. I mean, like, okay, so I came on this show ready to rip this apart. And while I can say I honestly don't love it, I can't say that I hate it as much as I thought I would. Like, I mean, the pants, they're the good color scheme, good fit. I mean, looks like he's got some room to, like, for those brisk spurts, of walking, walk kills, or if he wants to run, I don't know, who knows what kind of Jason we're going to have here. Now, here's where I do get a little bit touchy, and I've mentioned this in previous shows. I don't like Jason with pulling over a shirt or a jacket. I don't like that. I don't know why. I can't say that I'm 100% right on this, that I'm, but I just, something about that look does not work for me. But this doesn't look that bad. I'm looking at it and I don't think it looks that bad. I don't know. You tell me.
It's as far as like what somebody would wear. Like, yeah, it's going to be frayed. It's going to be worn down 100%. It's not going to be brand new and crisp and everything. And I see what you're saying. Like, I can't picture him in the mirror putting his t-shirt on and now putting a jacket on and like buttoning up the collar and stuff. That's really not Jason. But yeah, it as far as Jason looks go, if I was ranking it, it'd probably be somewhere in the middle. Because there are other ones that are just some I really don't like at all, some that I really adore.
Yeah.
The mask we'll get into, but it's just as far as like head down.
Yeah.
And when I say basic and muted, I don't want to say that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because when you said it kind of looks like he would blend into the woods. Okay, I can see some reasoning for that color scheme. So that kind of took some of the sting off of it when you mentioned that. I'll agree.
Yeah.
I can grant you that. But yeah, it's not bad, just it seems basic and muted to me.
It's benign.
But yeah. I'm not saying I hate it or it's bad. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. Like, the undershirt looks like could be a dirty white shirt that, is just extremely dirty, or it could be, just again, another tone of what he's wearing. But overall, the outfit is not my issue. And I thought it would be at first glance. Now, it's boring in a way, right? Like, but I don't know how flashy you want, a woodsy killer to be. So while part 7, broke the mold and just became this like unbelievable design, you're bringing Jason back to his roots. Looks like they want to reboot a lot of stuff, and you got to start them from the ground. And this is not bad. Not bad. Now, before we go, we'll leave the mask for the ending. But before we go on to the mask, stature, I think to me, looks average. Now, it's impossible. You don't have like anybody standing beside him right now. But he's not overweight. He's not, extremely muscular or anything like that, which is fine. I'm good with both those choices, but he looks a little pedestrian in a sense. Like, he doesn't look like a hulking kind of guy. And again, I didn't like, Freddy versus Jason where he was like, 9 feet tall. I liked, the Ted White and the Richard Brooker and the Kane Hodder. I like that range between 6'1", 6'2" to 6'4". I don't know. I look at this and I'm like, I don't know, is he like 5'9"? Yeah, I don't know.
And this Jason, I'm not saying he doesn't look intimidating. I mean, just like stature, while you bring up, I was like, he looks more nimble than some of the other Jasons because he's not so muscular. Could I take him? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm only 5'7", so, but like you said, he's probably like, I would say 6 feet tall. He seems more nimble, this Jason. Like if that was the actor, okay, more nimble. So I would expect a more dynamic moving Jason, which could be interesting in some aspects. But yeah, stature wise, I'm not looking up saying, oh God, like it's like John Cena or like The Rock, somebody who's, or like an MMA fighter. He's not, if you walk to him in the forest, you just think it's some weird guy wearing a mask. You're saying, oh God, it's a giant in front of me.
Yeah. Now, again, we don't have scale. So now he could be proposed to be, 6'7". Who knows? Hopefully not. I mean, that's a little too big, but I mean, he could, excuse me, he could be a lot bigger than what this picture looks like, but he doesn't particularly have any big features or anything like that. Doesn't look too muscular. So, and that's something that has become synonymous with Jason, right? Is he is powerful. Like, who would win in a fight, Michael Myers or Jason? Well, Jason's, brute force and power. Like, that was always the calling card for this guy, right? It doesn't look too evident in this initial design, but again, it's not to scale. We don't have scale on this. I mean, you go by the knife, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe that's a small machete. Maybe that's a big machete. We don't even know with that. So, so yeah, that's yeah, I don't know. So now, before we hit the mask, I mean, don't really have like a 360 shot of his head, but I do like the I've always liked my Jason's bald. Now it does look like he probably has a little bit of frizz going on, and I'm
I
okay.
saw that in another photo.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that, as long as, like, for the most part, he's a bald-headed guy. Like, that's kind of how I like my Jasons. I don't know. How do you like your Jasons bald or with hair?
Yeah, I didn't like. I hated, what was it? The beginning of Jason X, where he's got like little tufts of hair.
Yeah.
But then again, I did like the remake where he had some long
Yeah, exactly.
parts of hair.
Right?
Like I liked that, but most of the time, my Jason is between episodes. I mean, movies 4 and 6. Those are the bald Jasons. Those are my Jasons.
Yeah. So, anyways, ultimately, I'm happy to not see, like, like a hipster haircut on there, or like, some, like, thick, luscious black or blonde hair.
Jason with the ponytail.
Yeah, like, listen, I know it sounds like a joke, but like, in this day and age, you don't know. It could have happened, and oh man, like, that would have been just awful. So I am happy they got his head okay, but my biggest issue is the mask. And it's not just me being grumpy old man and being picky and saying that's not the Jason I'm not alone. I took some time to read the feedback of fans, and it didn't go over well. Like, I'm not trying to start anything. I'm not trying to talk, on behalf of, like, the Friday fans. It's out there. You can look up any picture or especially the release, even on their page, Jason Universe. The comments aren't kind. There's a lot of people that are just pumped to see something happen. I find that that's kind of like, there's not a lot of defense of the look. It's just more like, yes, let's go. Let's see this, but the people that are actually commenting on the look are not happy. And I'm with them. I find, it says this was partially, Greg Nicotero, who is like a genius in this world of films, never mind horror, just in films, was associated in the design of this mask. It's kind of a little bit of fusing addition to this mess. I think this mask is exactly what you said. You nailed it on the head. This is a default. This is like a generic. This is like, this is what your starting point is, and you get extras and you can make it better. That's not good. That's not good. Like, you shouldn't be able to look at something and say, well, hopefully it gets better, because this is not, I don't think, what they intended to do. So my thing is the holes, there's not enough of them. The chevrons are bulky, clunky, and just seem arbitrary. And the eye holes, there's something about that design that I just don't like. And overall, it looks like a fan-made Jason in a Jason in a fan-made film, and that's not good. That's not good. That's my take.
Yep. So I pretty much agree with you. Like, I was reading it this morning, and it was a new 13-hole mask and a redefined classic full body aesthetic. Okay, 13 holes. It's like, we got 13 holes. Get it? because it's
I know.
Friday the third. That's just like no one ever cared. I
Come
mean,
on.
it like you said, it doesn't have enough holes, but having 13 doesn't like replace that to me.
It's not like
It
people are
doesn't
like,
like
yes.
yeah, it's not like oh
We-
cool 13. It's more like a hey, get it?
yeah.
And the eyes, I think, are too close together, and the way the chevrons go really up close to the bridge of the nose,
Yeah.
and the way that top front, it focuses all your attention right between the eyes, and it's so narrow.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody just pushed in on it. Like it looks like a comic book per se.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a mock-up, but the way the eyes are pushed in, it puts all your attention the way the chevrons are pointing. Hey, focus right here between the eyes, and it's so close. It doesn't. It's like the anatomy of it is off to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's and it sounds like, it was a well thought out plan, which leads me to my next question. Do they change it? Now, do they go all in? Like, was there I mean, I gotta think that there's no movie right now. Like, I mean, aside from a YouTube short and stuff like that, there's nothing really to suggest that they have to be locked into this. I mean, I'm just gonna okay, so they on Jason Universe's Instagram, they posted this is Jason, and Jason movies and stuff are coming. And, the first comment is, that's great to hear, but please fix this mask. Please go back to the 31 holes. I didn't really know that, the number of holes were such a hot topic for this. I just liked the original hole design. I don't think they really cared, but the absence of holes matter. And I'm not being tongue in cheek with that. It does. It clearly does. It doesn't look right. Next comment, please fix the mask. It sucks. Also said it in the 80s. Well, nice opinion. What? Another one? Didn't like the mask. No way. This is the top of the food chain of these comments. Is he going to be 5'8" and 158 pounds? Or 150 pounds. Sorry. That is what this picture looks like. That's a good comment, because we're talking about the stature. No, sorry. We were just talking about this off camera about how we're old and we need glasses. 5'6". Sorry. 5'6" and 150 pounds. That is what this image looks like. And I get it. Again, there's no perspective. So we're kind of like talking out of our ass here. But that's what it looks like.
And I picked something else with the holes, because it's the holes are so less now. Right underneath his nose, those 6 almost look like a little like an oval. So it looks like he's got he's doing like an O face or something. The way, because there's not enough holes. I'm trying to think what's wrong with it, but just seeing those holes right under his nose almost looks like he's making the O face, and it almost looks like ghost face in a way.
Yeah,
the way that mouth was. It's like giving it an unnecessary mouth.
Yeah. I'm begging you, ditch this mask. Anyways, it goes on. And I'm not going to subject everybody to me trying to read comments without glasses. So, but it goes on. And that's just one page. That's the main page. Actually, that's the actual, it gets worse on other, fan pages and stuff like that. So my thing is do they change it? Do you listen to your fans here and say, yeah, we got it wrong? I think that's the wise thing to do. There's no shame in correcting yourself, because it's not like the fans are going to be like, yeah, we told you to fix it. They'll be like, awesome. They listened. These guys rock. Whoever's the head of this organization is just doing the job. And we'll talk about the head of the organization. And again, in a future episode, we'll get into that. But my thing is it's not too late to change this design. And the fans overall hate it. I'm not saying they're lukewarm. Overall, I would say they hate this design. Do they change it, Uncle Pete? I'm asking you right now.
And the funny, because I'm looking at, I think it would be foolish not to reevaluate it.
Okay.
Because obviously they're looking at social media. They've heard all the feedback. it'd be foolish to not at least reevaluate it. Otherwise, it's Greg Nicotero, they're like throwing a temper tantrum saying, nope, it's going to be this way. Or the producers saying, nope, this is exactly what I want because I want it like this. It's got 13 holes. Get it? All right. So, but I think if they change it, which they should, and listen to the fans, you're going to gain that much more respect from the fans. Like, oh, cool. They listen to us fans. Maybe I think it would increase the hype and be a positive, positive for this film.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And there was a Greg Nicotero rebuttal to the backlash. I'm trying to dig it up right now. But yeah, like I mean, I don't. It doesn't even say that he designed it. It says he helped with it. I don't even know what that means. Like, did he just get the design and mold it in his studio,
Yeah, did they
or
just
like
stick his name on it? He's probably like, yeah. Could they just like slapped his name on it because he said, "Hey, give him a shirt."
that's you know what that's the funny thing. I'm like, if we say Greg Nicotero designed it or was involved with it, people are gonna love this. Regardless, it didn't work. And I don't have that quote. I'm not gonna fumble around for it, but like I said, we'll do a follow-up episode to this. But overall, like I said, it's not the worst, and I think in concept it's a great idea. Let's get a unified Jason look. We've had a lot of movies with a lot of awesome looks. They're not going anywhere. They're always going to be around for us to love, pick which ones we liked and stuff like that. But it's not a bad idea to get like Freddy is always in the striped shirt, whether you like it or not. That he's always in that, right? And that's cool. Michael Myers is always in his mechanics overall or mechanics outfit. It doesn't change, it doesn't deviate. And Jason's has, and that's okay because he's gone through a lot. Like, he's burned, he's drowned, he's been underwater. Get it? That's fine. But having a unified look is not a bad idea, but you gotta get it right. And you're never gonna make everybody happy. But what we're seeing so far is making very few people happy. And I think that is something that needs to be looked at.
I found a quote.
Okay.
I found a quote. So Greg is not to blame for the mask, apparently, because it's on the website. It says we gave Greg our new 13-hole mask design and worked together on this full body look. So no, okay, I take back anything you could perceive about Greg. He's fantastic. Yeah. So it looks like there's the mask, and he, like you and I said, he said, okay, give him jeans and a shirt and make, help design that gritty look, which we discussed when you said blends into the forest. I was like, ooh, I like that idea. Yeah. So it kind of grew on me a little bit, but the mask, maybe not Greg.
All right. Well, we've talked about this one, I think, as much as we can for now. Again, we'll talk about Horror Inc. and Jason Universe, the relationship, what that means and everything in the future episode. But for now, we'll throw it to you. What do you think? Let us know your comments below, and be thorough. Be brief, be thorough, whatever. But we would like to know, and if a change is to come,
don't hold back. If you think if you think we're wrong, let us know. If you love it and you think it's the great, I want to hear that too. Like it's opinion, guy. There's no wrong or right opinion on something. So if you guys love it, let us hear why. Maybe I can look at something differently, because like Jason said, I wasn't liking the colors, but when Jason said can kind of blend into the far woods, I was like, oh man. So yeah, I love to hear stuff like that, guys. So let us know in the comments.
That's how persuasive I am, people. All right. Hopefully I could persuade everybody to subscribe, follow, comment, love us, share us, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Crazy Ralph podcast. I'm Jason. This is your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. We'll see you later.